Book First, Chapter 12 of Ben-Hur by Lew Wallace. This is a Librivox recording. All Librivox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Chapter 12. The 11th day after the birth of the child in the cave, about mid-afternoon, the three wise men approached Jerusalem by the road from Shechem. After crossing Brook Cedron, they met many people, of whom none failed to stop and look after them curiously. Judea was of necessity an international thoroughfare. A narrow ridge, raised, apparently, by the pressure of the desert on the east and the sea on the west, was all she could claim to be. Over the ridge, however, nature had stretched the line of trade between the east and the south, and that was her wealth. In other words, the riches of Jerusalem were the tolls she levied on passing commerce. Nowhere else, consequently, unless in Rome, was there such constant assemblage of so many people of so many different nations. In no other city was a stranger less strange to the residents than within her walls and purlieus. Yet these three men excited the wonder of all whom they met on the way to the gates. A child belonging to some woman sitting by the roadside opposite the tombs of the kings saw the party coming. Immediately it clapped its hands and cried,
"Look! Look! What pretty bells! What big camels!"
The bells were silver. The camels, as we have seen, were of unusual size and whiteness, and moved with singular stateliness. The trappings told of the desert and of long journeys thereon, and also of ample means and possession of the owners, who sat under the little canopies exactly as they appeared at the rendezvous beyond the Jebel. Yet it was not the bells or the camels, or their furniture, or the demeanour of the riders, that were so wonderful. It was the question put by the man who rode foremost of the three. The approach to Jerusalem from the north is across a plain which dips southward, leaving the Damascus gate in a vale or hollow. The road is narrow, but deeply cut by long use, and in places difficult on account of the cobbles left loose and dry by the washing of the rains. On either side, however, there stretched, in the old time, rich fields and handsome olive groves, which must, in luxurious growth, have been beautiful, especially to travellers fresh from the wastes of the desert. In this road the three stopped before the party in front of the tombs.
"Good people,"
said Balthazar, stroking his plaited beard and bending from his cot.
"is not Jerusalem close by?"
"Yes,"
answered the woman, into whose arms the child had shrunk.
"if the trees on yon swell were a little lower, you could see the towers of the market-place."
Balthazar gave the Greek and Hindu a look, then asked,
"Where is he that is born King of the Jews?"
The women gazed at each other without reply.
"You have not heard of him?
"No."
Well, tell everybody that we have seen his star in the east, and are come to worship him."
Thereupon the friends rode on. Of others they asked the same question, with like results. A large company whom they met going to the grotto of Jeremiah were so astonished by the inquiry and the appearance of the travellers that they turned about and followed them into the city. So much were the three occupied with the idea of their mission that they did not care for the view which presently rose before them in the utmost magnificence. For the village first to receive them on Bezetha, for Mizpah and Olivet, over on their left, for the wall behind the village, with its 40 tall and solid towers, superadded partly for strength, partly to gratify the critical taste of the kingly builder, for the same towered wall bending off to the right, with many an angle, and here and there an embattled gate, up to the three great white piles, Phaeus, Mariamne, and Hippicus, for Zion, tallest of the hills, crowned with marble palaces, and never so beautiful, for the glittering terraces of the temple on Moriah, admittedly one of the wonders of the earth, for the regal mountains rimming the city round about until it seemed in the hollow of a mighty bull. They came at length to a tower of great height and strength, overlooking the gate which, at that time, answered to the present Damascus gate, and marked the meeting place of the three roads from Shechem, Jericho, and Gibeon. A Roman guard kept the passage-way. By this time the people following the camels formed a train sufficient to draw the idlers hanging about the portal, so that when Balthazar stopped to speak to the sentinel, the three became instantly the centre of a close circle eager to hear all that passed.
"I give you peace,"
the Egyptian said in a clear voice. The sentinel made no reply.
"We have come great distances in search of one who is born King of the Jews. Can you tell us where he is?"
The soldier raised the visor of his helmet and called loudly. From an apartment at the right of the passage an officer appeared.
"Give way!"
He cried to the crowd which now pressed closer in, and as they seemed slow to obey, he advanced twirling his javelin vigorously, now right, now left, and so he gained room.
"What would you do?"
He asked of Balthazar, speaking in the idiom of the city. And Balthazar answered in the same.
"Where is he that is born King of the Jews?"
"Herod?"
Asked the officer, confounded.
"Herod's kingship is from Caesar, not Herod."
"There is no other king of the Jews."
"But we have seen the star of him we seek, and come to worship him."
The Roman was perplexed.
"Go farther,"
He said at last.
"go farther. I am not a Jew. Carry the question to the doctors in the temple, or to Hannas the priest, or, better still, to Herod himself. If there be another king of the Jews, he will find him."
Thereupon he made way for the strangers, and they passed the gate. But before entering the narrow street, Balthazar lingered to say to his friends,
"We are sufficiently proclaimed. By midnight the whole city will have heard of us and of our mission. Let us go to the Khan now."
Chapter 12